Flowmeter settings for eSpray computer. When eSpray computer is used together with Flowmeter, then some Flowmeter settings has to be done. To do that, go to Menu, Application Rate, and here you have some Flowmeter and application rate settings. First is correction resolution. This correction resolution means that this value plus minus, you can select how many liters or percentage or liters. It means that this value is used here to change correction manually. So for example, if you have spraying program 200 liters per hectare and you want to change if you want to change application rate manually for some time, then it is done by 10 liters. If I change to percentage, let's say 20%, then here, if I have 200 liters per hectare, then it should change every 40 liters. As you can see, 40, 80, 120, and so on. We'll go to the default value, 10 liters. Second setting is application range viewing. It means that 2%, it means that if you have a spraying program, for example 200 liters per hectare, and the real application rate value is never equal exactly 200 liters. It is always close to 200, but it's below or up or over 200 liters. So if the difference is less than 2% in this case, with these settings, it will show you here exactly 200 liters. If the difference is higher than 2%, then it will show you exact application rate. Flowmeter settings. If Flowmeter is active, then you have to put the number of impulses. This number you should take from the label or from Flowmeter. ARAC Flowmeters, Orion or Wolf Flowmeters, they usually have numbers like 100, 1200, 600, 300 or something. Most common Flowmeter for orchards is ARAC 100 to 1000 or 1000 to 200 or 600. But remember that the number which is given on the label on Flowmeter is not very accurate, and after a few times of driving and spraying, you have to adjust, make fine-tuning of this value. These values here, you leave it like it is. It's more technical values settings. This is a current reading from the Flowmeter. So hertz, it means the frequency. So when the sprayer is running and the sections are open, you should see some values here of higher than 0 hertz. Flowmeter calibration. If you want, you can calibrate Flowmeter using a bucket of water, for example. You just need to unplug the cable which runs to the section and place this cable into the bucket. Then when you have to select a section which you disconnect the cable, and when the Flowmeter, when the sprayer is on and PTO is running, then you just turn on main valve, and then you observe the water that is coming to the bucket. After the bucket is nearly full, just close a main valve, take the bucket, check how many liters are is in the bucket, you can just put a bucket with the water on a scale and just check how many kilograms are in the bucket, and then put this number here, and then it will calculate how many liters, how many impulses per liter your flow meter is. It can be done, but it is not so accurate calibration, so you can just test, if you want, you can just test this feature. Priority sensor, this is a selection which sensor for application rate is used. In this case, pressure sensor is used for application rate. It means that computer is measuring pressure, speed, row distance, row width, and is checking also the number of nozzles and type of nozzles to calculate the application rate. If you select flow meter, then actually type of the nozzles and number of nozzles doesn't matter, because computer is calculated flow application rate from the real flow from the flow meter. Application rate verification, this setting is, if it is active, is checking, and it is comparing the application rate from the pressure sensor, which is calculated by pressure sensor, and application rate which is calculated by flow meter. And if the difference deviation is higher than 10%, it will give you appropriate information on the screen. So from this information you can learn that, for example, some nozzles are stuck and there is not full flow going through the nozzles. Very important setting is a flow meter range. If it is active, it must be exactly like on the label on the flow meter. Some flow meters, they have certain range. For example, ARAC flow meters, they have certain range, and below some value or above some value they are inaccurate, or sometimes they don't even give any readings. So for example, for this flow meter, below 2.5 liters per minute or above 50 liters per minute, flow meter is not used, and computer is automatically switching into the pressure sensor calculation. And in this range, from 2.5 liter to 50 liters, flow meter is used. If this feature is not active, then range is not active. Always, if the priority sensor flow meter is selected, then flow meter is always calculating flow. And that's all from flow meter settings.